What's going on, guys? Coming back at you with another I'm Joken podcast. I'm your host, Kenny, here with my co host, John.
What's up?
And Mike. Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
And this is the best episode we're gonna make, bro. Cause you know why? It's directed by Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder himself, bro. Rest in peace, Autumn. Rest in peace.
Yeah, for
Are you
Autumn.
telling me this episode's gonna be 4 hours?
Nah.
No,
Nah.
no.
We're going to do the Joss Whedon cut of Zack Snyder's podcast.
But except it'll be good, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
That should just tell you guys what we're going to be talking about at least a little bit today.
yeah, because we're totally gonna talk about Avengers today.
We have to.
Speaking of
That's
which,
crazy.
what?
How Justice League comes out with something so good, or DC, and we still got to talk about Avengers. Like,
I was
I
kidding.
I mean
though.
that kind of just shows the mark that they've left on entertainment at this point.
Yeah.
A testament to them, hands down to them, you know.
So speaking of Avengers, today came out the first episode of Marvel's next series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is a terrible name, I think.
It is a terrible name. I agree 100%.
Because at least WandaVision, like, it was a clever use. Like, they could have just called the show The Scarlet Witch
Right.
and Vision. But, you know, they did something clever with the name. WandaVision, it's catchy, it's easy to say, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I feel like I always have to think about it for like half a second.
Yeah, for sure. I think it could also be a little play on kind of Bucky as a character. He's a super old-fashioned dude, which we actually learn a lot more personal things about him in this episode. So I kind of feel like maybe a little testament to him, something that's not it's not such a unique name, something that's more like today, modern.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little bit more old school.
And since the episode came out today, we will not be spoiling. We'll just kind of gloss over what we thought of the episode without getting too much into details.
Yeah,
We'll do that next week.
We still want you guys to watch it for sure.
Right. But we're only going to do this for the first episode of all the shows we talk about. After episode 1, it's like, bro, just watch the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I really enjoyed the first episode.
I did. I just want to say my opening statement.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel has surprised me yet again, and I definitely see more hope for this episode, for this series rather.
You know what I really liked?
What's that?
Is that it's again, no spoilers, but it opens up making Falcon into a badass.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
like hats off. Like, that whole sequence looked like it was straight from the movie.
I think what was really cool about that was actually seeing him in action, kind of as an individual.
Yeah.
Especially, obviously, no spoilers because you guys should have seen Endgame already. But considering what happened at the end of Endgame, he's kind of alone.
You can spoil Endgame. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, we have to. So considering that Falcon's alone, we kind of see his journey as a person, as an Avenger, as opposed to being part of a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, it's nice to see, like, the post-Endgame stuff for all these heroes.
Yeah, I like that. We took a little bit to get into it for WandaVision only because of how everything played out in terms of the series. I don't know, timeline or like plot line, whatever you want to consider it. But we're
more of a mystery because of how it started. We're just in a different century.
Yeah, for sure.
We
Which
know
technically it's we get the reveal towards the end that it was really close to the end of Endgame.
Where compared to this, like the events are happening after Endgame.
And really close, like in really close proximity to each other.
Really liked it. And, well, we can't really talk much about it, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Well, Mike, what'd you think about it, actually?
It was alright. I was coming off of a Justice League high, so
yeah. Oh man,
it was good for what it was. Like, obviously, I'm not expecting much out of the first episode. This is one of the shows I feel like is going to be more espionage and more just little details. I like the end of where they're going, where they're alluding with the series. So it's like It'll keep you
and
interested right now.
they still have plenty of time. They got plenty of groundwork to cover, and it did give us a lot of insight for sure.
I like to see how they're gonna develop like the Winter Soldier, Bucky's introduction into
Yeah, for
society
sure. Mhm.
without having Steve as his clutch. And just seeing how he deals with all his PTSD, all the actions and crimes he's committed in the past.
Not
Yeah.
only that, I actually like to see where they're going with. Again, I like more the personal side of things. So where they're going with him as a person in society who
Yeah,
still has a secret identity, so to speak.
Yeah, because people don't really know that Bucky Barnes is a Winter Soldier, right?
Especially after the cut, especially after cutting that mane that he had.
no, I think they know he's the Winter. He was the Winter Soldier. That he
Well,
they
are you are
talked
you
about.
are you sure?
Yeah, bro. In the museum, they show him as they know he's the Winter. Watch Civil War.
Oh,
I mean,
actually, they did. They
they know
did.
he's.
They did in the
Remember,
museum.
and this is not a spoiler. They talk about his pardon, so he took a deal for his crimes. The Winter
Well, not
Soldier.
necessarily they. The
Well, the
shrink
government,
spoke about it. Right. Right.
but
Government appointed shrink.
that's why it's just like so they know like he's known as the Winter Soldier, and the government knows who he is, and people know who he is.
Gotcha. Okay. I must have missed that for sure.
But overall, we liked it, and we look
No,
forward to the next
like
5
that.
episodes.
Absolutely. Is it only 5 more?
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes, but it's gonna be like
But
about 48 minutes to an hour each.
yeah, a little bit longer episodes. I mean, they didn't know exactly what they had on their hands with WandaVision. I really like the timing. How long that took to play out, or how short it was. Because they covered a lot within the episodes. But let's see. I mean, maybe we'll have a new favorite format moving forward.
Hopefully. Also, we're gonna have like a little bit of a break after this series, because it ends around April, and then the next show that we'll get is in June 11th, and it's gonna be Loki.
That is something that I'm really hyped for.
I think they did that so they can like force people to like be on like a little bit of have a little bit of a starve for Marvel content, and make people
For
want to go
sure.
to the movie theater.
But what is that? So we have 6 weeks of this. So we're gonna have like what, a 3-week break, 4-week break?
Yeah, because they're gonna want us. They're gonna want to make us watch Black Widow so we can get our little Marvel fix.
Gotcha. So when does that come out?
May 11th,
Not bad. Okay.
around the beginning of May.
Considering how much content we've been saturated with, alluding to Marvel, the YouTube channels are gonna go crazy, bro. They're gonna go crazy with theories.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I was trying to figure out. So obviously not a spoiler. You know the actor of the soldier who was in the show, the main
Yeah.
soldier.
The U.S. soldier.
I was trying to figure
Oh
out
no!
what you spoiled it, bro. That's on you.
It's fine. It's fine.
You literally said no spoilers.
Oh my God.
It's fine. It's fine. They're still gonna watch it. They're not gonna know what we're alluding to, unless you guys have watched it.
I mean,
we really
he's
do
in
want
the
to talk to you guys
trailer.
about it.
He's in the trailer, so it's
So,
not really a spoiler.
But we'll save that for a later date.
So him, I was trying to figure out. Like I'm like, I know I've seen him in the show before. I was like Google searching him. He's the older brother in On My Block.
I was gonna say On My Block, and I've never seen a single episode, and I was just like,
he's the older
yeah.
brother to this guy, to the short kid. I haven't watched On My Block.
I've never seen a
The
single
white
episode.
girl pregnant.
I don't remember.
Ruby's brother. Ruby. Yeah, that's his name.
It's been like 2 years. I forgot all their faces.
But he was in that show. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, yo, I know I've seen this guy in the show.
Kenny, is
Quick-
that a
quick
Switch
break,
light you
though.
got there?
Oh, you read my mind, bro. I was gonna take a quick break from all this Marvel talk and comic book talk. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The stimmy was hitting right. I had to go and pick myself up a Switch Lite, and that rhymed.
And it matches your lightning bolt.
Yes, it does.
So for the audio
Honestly-
listeners, he bought a Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
Lite, and he got the coral one.
Yeah, no, the turquoise.
Teal, my bad.
The coral definitely was one of my favorites. I kind of had to choose blindly because Best Buy, I guess, with all the COVID and shit going on, they didn't have any consoles out so that I can actually see them. They had them tucked away in the back somewhere.
Yeah.
So, blindly, with the help of John, of course, I chose a turquoise, and I'm happy with the purchase. I'm definitely happy with the purchase.
What games you picked up?
I only picked up Luigi's Mansion. For nostalgia reasons, it's definitely a game that I hold dear to my heart. Probably one of the last, adventure games, or like, not, it's not even free world. I would say adventure games that I've played for the GameCube, and I haven't touched it since. I mean, I've read a lot about it. I've watched a lot of videos about it. I actually skipped over Luigi's Mansion 2 because I didn't have a 3DS. So for nostalgia purposes, that was the one game that I picked up.
Real quick, Mike, do you have headphones?
Yeah, why?
Because every time we talk, like your little square lights up, so I think it's picking us up.
All right. How about now?
I think it's fine now. I don't see the score going up.
I had the
It's-
volume way too high. That's why.
Gotcha.
So, what do you think is gonna be your next pickup, Kenny?
I don't know, man. I mean, the best part about Nintendo, obviously, is gonna be their flagship series. So anything having to do with Mario, more single player games, because obviously the Switch Lite can't be docked. And a lot of the games, they have a mode for the Switch Lite that it's only single player, which is understandable. It's a really tiny screen. Having two people kind of share that is gonna be a little weird.
Right.
So I'm thinking probably the trilogy of like OG Mario games. So I think it's Mario Galaxy, Odyssey, and there's one Mario Sunshine, which was also, thank you, Mike, which was also a really, really good game that I thoroughly enjoyed for the GameCube.
Yeah, I streamed it a bit on my channel.
It's an amazing game, bro.
I still gotta finish it. I'm like, I think more than halfway through. I think it's halfway through.
Did you guys buy? Did you guys play Odyssey for the Wii?
Yeah, I never played it.
You mean
You,
the
John?
Switch?
No, for the Wii. Oh,
mean
not
Ga-
Odyssey. I'm sorry. I'm
You mean
sorry.
Galaxy?
Yes.
Yeah,
My
I used
mistake,
to.
yes.
I did have it on the Wii. I didn't beat it. I
Yes.
remember that.
So I had it, and I'm not sure if it was just the edition that I had. I'm pretty sure that it was more than just the edition that I had. But it came with a Mario Galaxy coin, and I swear to this day I wish that I could find that thing.
Oh damn, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably worth a bit.
Yeah, it was a silver coin, and Mario had his hand outreached for a gold star, and the star was actually plated in like a yellow, like, I don't know, it was some kind of material, super shiny. That shit was dope.
I actually just picked up Odyssey again.
I mean, are you looking forward to playing it?
Yeah, I want to like stream it one day where I just like restart it.
Odyssey was a good game for what it was worth. I didn't play it full because when I initially had the Switch, I had a lot more games for it,
hmm
and that kind of overshadowed my time from that adventure game. I liked, playing tennis, go-kart, or Mario Kart rather.
Do you still have it?
And I just gotta pick it up, but yeah, I still own it. Yeah.
Where'd you get it from?
Did I get it?
Yeah,
No.
I gave it to you as a birthday present.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Which one?
The Odyssey.
So then, yes, I have it. Initially, I remember that I got it from my little cousin, who is funny enough. He actually shares the same birthday as me. But I got it from him. I played it for a little bit, and then he was like itching for it back. So I was like, just take it. And then I think I'm recalling it now. You gave it to Mike. It ended up from Mike to me, and it's still with me to this day. And John hasn't asked for it back. What a kind guy.
No, I gave it to you
Thank
as a
you, bro.
gift.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I
appreciate
picked it up on I think it was Target or Walmart. They had it on sale for $38 digital.
that. Oh, you picked it up again?
Yeah.
Nice. I have to get a micro SD for for mine. Even though I have, I don't know, something like 25 gigs left in mine. I definitely want to pick one up because I am looking to expand the library. I do want to get like Zelda, a couple Sonic games, obviously the Mario, which is going to be 3 games.
Mhm.
So that's going to take up quite a bit, you know?
I mean, Mike, how big was your old one on your
What?
Switch? Because remember I just gave you one?
I didn't even take it out. I could check right now how much. I literally have my Switch on.
Wait,
Yeah, 'cause
micro SD or
Yeah,
or
because
internal?
I just gave Mike a 256, so
On my
Gotcha.
micro SD, it says
it probably won't tell you. You'd have to
it
like
won't
stick
tell
it.
me, I'll tell you all the games that I have. So I only have, let's combine, like about 4 GB left
Oh, wow.
altogether.
Just turn it off and stick it out. That sounds
And then,
wrong.
whoa.
That sounds
But
really
yo,
wrong.
I'll tell you the
listeners, we
games I have
apologize.
downloaded just so people can know. I have Pokemon, Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Among Us, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Mario Party, the Super Mario 3D All Stars, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, a game that John bought, which is actually really good.
I
Mega
have to
Man
check that
11.
out.
I have the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, the Digimon Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition, which I still have to play. I haven't even opened that yet. Yu-Gi-Oh! Animal Crossings, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Power Rangers, Fire Emblem, Tetris, Astral Train, Super Mario Maker, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Mario Tennis.
You have a shit ton of games, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Well, which Pokemon do you have?
I have Sword.
Did you see? I don't even know if I'm gonna pronounce
The
it
SD
correctly.
card I have is 128 gigs.
That's pretty good. Did you see Pokken Stadium?
What are you talking about?
You mean Pokken the game?
Yeah, isn't it called Pokken Stadium?
It's just called Pokken.
Gotcha. It's a stadium atmosphere. It's like an adventure mixed with the
The fighting game.
fighting game. Is
I
it
wanted
just
that.
fighting?
Yeah, it's just fighting.
Hmm.
I wanted it, but then the actual Pokemon came out finally, so then I was like,
Yeah, I know
And then
you're super big on
that
the
game
actual
recently went on sale for like the first time ever. It's always $60.
So I have a 500 gig micro SD, and I have 76 gigs left.
Bless you.
And I'm not gonna go through all the games I have installed. I'm just gonna show you. Basically, for audio listeners,
say your highlights. Say your highlights.
it's a lot. Let's see if it can catch it.
Too bright. I
It
think.
won't catch it. It's basically a lot. Like these are all the
Jeez.
games I have.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have Apex installed. I have
Bless you.
Fortnite. I have Rocket League. Basically, if it's free, I was like, fuck
Bless
it, just give it to me.
But what's your highlight? What's your like star games right now that you own?
Oh shit. Well, I got all the basic ones. I got like Smash. I got Super Mario Odyssey. I got the Breath of the Wild, best game in the fucking system. I got Ace Attorney. I got Splatoon 2, Pokemon Sword. I got the Yu-Gi-Oh game Mike mentioned. I got a couple of demos like the Monster Hunter one. I got the Pokemon Power Ranger fighting game. I got Diablo 3, Xenoverse 2, Mario Rabbids 3D collection, Skyrim. The
Actually,
Legend
let me stop you real quick. I just want to ask, how's that Mario? Is it Mario versus Rabbids or?
Mario vs. Rabbids? Yeah. Mario
Yeah.
plus
How
Rabbids.
is that? How is that?
It's kind of a strategy game,
Mm.
but it's a fun one. I played most of it. I haven't beaten it yet.
I like the game that those rabbits are from, and it's the duck. Shit, I forget the name.
I know what you're talking about. He has like no
Rayman.
Yeah,
Rayman.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like those games. It reminds me of Sonic, like a new age Sonic, which I know he's like an OG character, but I played it more recently.
But yeah, I'm happy
You guys have
you're.
pretty good lineup for your Switch.
Yeah, it's only like a 3-year process. I have a game share, so whatever games he buys, I get. Whatever games I get, he gets.
Gotcha.
I have to
yeah,
finish that game. That game's actually pretty good.
I'm definitely happy. I'm definitely happy with my pickup. I got to get online with you guys. I definitely. I don't know if I'm gonna rebuy it, because I went into my purchase history and
Yeah.
it's not there. But
What?
the Mario Kart, I definitely want to get back on that.
You don't
Why
have to,
don't
bro.
you?
I'll just smoke. It's fine.
Why don't you just get the account you had on your Switch?
It is, bro, and it's so weird because I
Isn't it
do have
because you bought it and it came with the Switch, right?
no, I just it was just a Switch alone, with no games, and
Bought
then
it digitally?
yeah, I that was the first game I think I got for the Switch.
It's
Um,
weird.
it was at the time, obviously, like as you mentioned, Mike, they never go on sale, so it was full
Yeah,
retail
that game
price.
ain't going on sale because the one for the PS
Never,
still is not.
never. But I got it. That was probably my first game, I think, and and it was downloaded. It was. I think I got the digital code actually, because I remember at the time I was talking to John a lot about what games I should get, and I think I got the digital code off of Amazon, and it was one of the codes where they grant it to your account and then you just redeem it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did that, but I'm not sure how to get it back.
That's weird.
I'll double check. It's not a big deal.
You guys want to move on to the star of the show,
Oh man, I'm ready.
the
I am
big
ready.
boy, the 4 hour
Yes, sir.
extravaganza.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Quick
The move.
disclaimer. Quick disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we gonna spoil the
We
crap out
are
of
gonna
this.
have spoilers
Oh, we
in
can
this
spoil the
because
shit out of this.
there is too much to talk about. There's too much to go over. And I think across the board, we all agree that it was a good movie. I can say that.
It was, and I agree. So this is the movie we deserved, not that Frankenstein thing that happened in
That
20.
that load of baloney, box office cash grab, man, I can't say enough bad things about it. And if you guys are listening from one of our most recent podcasts, I actually not necessarily praised the Joss Whedon edition, but I said that I liked the movie. And let me tell you guys something. The Snyder cut made me forget everything that I thought I knew about what DC was capable of, and what they were bringing to the table with that original edition.
Dude, have you read the plans that Zack Snyder had for the Justice League 2 and 3?
Listen, not only did I read it, but I watched him actually talk about it in interviews, and that man has a vast mind, man. A
Bro, like I
vast mind.
want all of that. Like I saw like a headline today where it was like Zack Snyder had planned. Well, sorry, it's spoilers for movies that are probably not gonna come out.
Obviously
He
spoilers.
had planned that in the second movie it was gonna be all about the nightmare scene, right? And then in the third movie it was gonna be like Batman would like sacrifice himself as like in a
Right,
like a
right.
parallel to Superman sacrificing himself. And
Yeah.
then because of that, Jonathan Kent would become Batman.
Hold on. I want to stop you real quick, John. Don't go any further because we may actually see that come to life. I know that Zack Snyder. I don't know for a fact. I heard that he actually might be working with a comic book artist to bring those visions to comic books.
We got a Jumbo Ginge in the chat. He said that we didn't use so many of Snyder's scenes and condensed it and fucked it up. I
He
agree.
definitely did. Agree 100%,
Especially
Jimbo.
with my boy Ray Fisher.
Yeah,
They
if anyone has like a gripe about that movie, it's definitely him. Because
massacred my boy.
in the
For
Whedon
sure.
cut, that he had no, he was just there.
He was just there, bro. We didn't know anything. And apparently he had mentioned like he had subtly dropped it apparently, but in some bonus content if you own the DVD.
Mhm.
But we would have seen that in the theatrical cut, which is what we went to see in the movie theater.
Right. And it's crazy because even the picture, the picture that we use as like
Yes.
as the placeholder cover for our podcast is the night we went to go see that Justice League.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh man, what a night
Well,
that was.
hold on, because I want to say again, at the time, nostalgia might have taken over, whatever kind of expectations, but for what it's worth, at the time, I was happy with what we got.
No, I said that movie was.
See, I was bothered from from the very start because they show that horrific scene of Superman.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, hi,
Well,
Superman."
well, well, because of his time. For those who don't know, I'm sure this is like public knowledge, but for those who don't know, his time working for Mission Impossible, he was under contract that he actually couldn't cut his mustache. So in post production, they recorded this little Snapchat sequence with a few kids talking to Superman, asking him about the S on his chest. Because I'm ready to save him. Shout out to Nicki Minaj. Um, and that CGI was terrible, bro. Terrible
Dude,
at best.
I feel like it was just unnecessary and they could have just left that out. Like the less scenes we have of him doing that horrific thing, the better. Also, I don't know why he re-recorded him being in the farm like once he's like resurrected.
Right,
Like I
right.
felt like the scenes that he already had were fine. Like they did
What do you
not
mean?
need, like you know when Superman was
Resurrected?
resurrected and he like flew
Mhm.
up with Lois to the farm and he's like talking to Lois and his mom.
Oh, and the.
They
It was
reshot
literally a
that.
reshoot, frame by frame, of what Snyder had left on the table for him.
So he reshot that, but he had to use the stupid CGI, and it just made it into a worse scene because the thing about that is like that CGI was so bad it would just pull you out of the whole scene because you would just be so focused on how horrible it looks.
On that upper lip. Isn't that a weird thing to be focused on? And it was literally the focal point of some of the scenes. Like his lip is just there. And it's like,
Yeah.
look at this. Look at this.
I like in the fight scene, one of the reshoots that I did like from this one. Remember in the original when he was fighting Steppenwolf and Steppenwolf threw the jab and he dodged,
Yes.
see Superman to
Yes.
the camera. I'm so glad they got rid of that shit. I was like, what is this?
Well, they didn't get rid of it, but like you said, they reshot it
They didn't
and
show him smiling in the
right, and instead of Steppenwolf throwing a punch, he actually like tried to claw at him, which
and
was
it,
a
and I
which was
feel
a
like
redesign for the Steppenwolf character.
and I feel like him with that smile scene, it kind of devalued because I'm like, bruh, all these other superheroes were getting their ass handed to them, and my man is smiling at this guy
Bro,
trying to
he's a literal god. He deserves to smile, bro. He deserves
like,
to
but
smile
no,
at
but
some
I'm saying
point.
it devalued them in the sense of Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and
Getting
Cyborg. I
their
mean,
ass beat, and then he's just like, "This is
he was
this is
like,
play. This is a
I
yeah,
mean,
play
this
fight."
is
he kind of
workout.
did that in this version too. But it was more badass because
And go ahead, go
Steppenwolf
ahead.
he swings his
Yes,
thing and then
yes.
Yeah,
it hits him
that's
in the shoulder and he's like it's cute and then he like uses his super breath and it freezes it and then breaks it.
Yep.
that's fine. But I'm just talking about the whole. He's just smiling. I'm like, bro, your whole team just got clapped by him, and it just
Yeah.
devalued every other superhero.
I agree with you, Mike. It was definitely more subtle in the Snyder cut, but let me tell you something. My hairs stood up when this guy pulled up with 0 seconds left. Steppenwolf was about to demolish Cyborg, and all of a sudden we see black suited Superman to save the day, bro. Like that shit is iconic.
Can you talk about how it also made me really consider Steppenwolf as a badass compared to it's just another big
For
bad that they're
sure,
gonna do.
talk about it, bro. Talk
Like
about
they
it.
gave
Let's
him a
talk
good
about it.
backstory, both him trying to redeem himself of whatever. I don't think they explained it. One of the small things they didn't explain of what did Steppenwolf do to lose Darkseid's trust or be
Correct,
out of
correct.
Darkseid's favor.
I think
But
he threatened his throne.
Yes.
oh,
But
um,
again, in Mike's defense, they definitely didn't go over it. They just kind of
like
banished him and said that he owed him 15,000
50,000
conquered
votes.
words. Like
Yeah.
that was insane. That was badass for real.
So my whole thing is like, okay, he's trying to redeem himself. Like, okay, he has a redemption arc. All right, I like that.
Right.
It's not just I'm just a random bad guy trying to get the three boxes, like the McGluffin. Like it was like imagine if it was Thanos, just like I'm going after these stones. Oh boy,
With
yo,
with no purpose. With no purpose.
like what?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, one thing that I really really liked keep it on the Steppenwolf kind of you know, train of thought. His redesign was honestly, like, I loved it, bro. I
Yeah,
loved it. It
I
was
like this one better than the Whedon one. He
no,
looked
for
like a
sure, for sure. And not only that, it was kind of like the way that he used his armor when Darkseid had come through that. It was not really a portal. It was kind of just like a way for them to communicate. When he came through and he kind of like threw off his helmet armor, his neck armor, like on some
other
Stark
side of the
nanotech
type of
shit.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was dope. That was really dope. I really like that.
And I like how the armor was really reactive throughout the scene. Like it kept moving and stuff.
Yeah. We
I
got
also
we got a
like
lot of we got a lot of static shots in the original,
Also,
which kind of devalued your like the depth in space and the weight in space. Like it was definitely a million times better redone this time around.
I also like that when Superman was beating him, like when he had him on the floor, he would like heat
Yeah.
vision the armor off, beat him,
Yep.
heat vision the
Yep.
armor again, and then beat him again.
And
I'm like, yo,
shock
this.
and shockwaves were sent.
And
Shockwaves
I
were sent
thought
with every punch.
they were like, yo,
I
Superman,
like
chill. But then Wonder was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
what I also liked. They even though they're a minor, like obviously you guys seen Power Rangers. You have the main villain, then you have the little putty, whatever, like stupid
Right.
little.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
obviously those are parademons.
Yep.
I feel like they gave the parademons more of a focus, saying those are people who obviously who've been captured from previous worlds and they become our prisoners.
Right.
And you saw more of the parademons, which makes them a better makes them play a bigger role and them a
Right.
big danger to the Justice League, which gave Batman something to do because
I also liked bouncing off what you said. I also liked that they were considering that they had lost their souls in battles prior. I like that they had more of like human interactions as opposed to just being complete monsters. They were like strategical,
yeah,
and they ambushed Batman. They were explicitly
they weren't
focusing
mindless
on.
creatures. They weren't just mindless
For
creatures.
sure, for sure. They were directly focusing on the Flash, trying to shoot at him, trying to get him out of running at top speed. Like that, just that brought a humanity to the character
No,
or the
and they
characters,
gave
and that gave him depth.
Batman, like obviously Batman cannot fight Steppenwolf. It's a human versus an
Right,
alien.
I mean, he
Unless
fought
Batman
Darkseid.
creates, at least he creates some tech. But it's just
for
like
sure.
realistically, he's a human being in a suit.
Right,
So these
right,
parademons gave Batman like more of a purpose in this movie, and
for sure.
Batman didn't look as weak as he did compared to the first film. Because in the first film, Batman was really non-existent,
He
other
was
than
nowhere to be found in most of the fights
No,
because
he
he
was.
can't hold his own.
He just got his
yeah,
ass whooped, and he was like, oh, that's gonna hurt tomorrow.
yeah, like while in this movie, I was like, okay, he's more of a threat with his tech with Alfred, which the Alfred scenes I think were a huge addition. The
Oh,
tech scenes with
absolutely.
Alfred,
I loved
using,
Alfred. I loved
using the
Alfred.
Batmobile, well, the Bat Tank,
Yep.
the tumbler, whatever it's called at this point.
It's a Batmobile.
Now, I actually, guys, I want to mention something that we didn't overstep yet because obviously we're going to kind of our favorite point of the movie. I'm sure a lot of viewers' favorite point of the movie,
Are you
but
gonna talk about the scene? I think you're gonna talk about.
I don't think so. But
Is it related to the thing in your background?
no, no,
Okay.
I kind of want to start, and
I
we
feel
don't
like we
have
dedicate
to.
a whole segment to that. Dedicate a whole segment
Yes,
to that.
yes. So I kind of want to start. We've talked a little bit about it already, but I kind of want to start not necessarily in chronological order, but like how the movie kind of went. So the first reshoot that we got and kind of scrapping what we saw in the theatrical cut was the initial fight scene between Doomsday and Superman, where obviously Superman loses. But seeing that scene from a different point of view and a different, not necessarily outcome, but just the simple fact that as he was taking his last breath, everybody in all parts of Earth or wherever they were, Themyscira, Atlantis, everywhere on the globe, they heard that last breath that Superman took, and they all knew that something was wrong. That
What?
scene right there already told me everything that I needed to know for what was coming with this movie, and it was honestly, I'm still blown away. I'm still, as you mentioned before, Mike, I'm still high off of the Snyder cut. Like
You know why they did that,
I
right?
I really enjoyed it.
Didn't his prize basically activate the mother box?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
like kind of ringing the bell.
Gotcha.
Because remember when they said no Kryptonians, no lanterns? Well,
Right.
Superman dying signified that there's no longer a Kryptonian on Earth.
And they had mentioned it too that Doomsday and Steppenwolf were kind of scared of Superman being the defender
Darkseid.
of the mother boxes. I'm sorry, Darkseid. My mistake.
What else happened after that? Because I'm not gonna lie, the
After
beginning
that,
part was a little slow.
I mean, a little.
Well,
We probably could have cut it in half, and I wouldn't
so
have
the
fallen
beginning
asleep
part is more
initially.
introducing like what the characters like have done since Superman's death. And obviously they have to go into depth with Cyborg and the Flash because they didn't give them a solo film.
Yeah, for sure.
So this kind of like gave
Also
you a little
Aquaman
insight.
because at this
Didn't
point when it
Aquaman
was
Yeah, he didn't have a movie yet.
at this point
He
he
didn't
didn't.
come.
Right.
So they had to dedicate some time to each of those characters and be like, hey, this is this person, this is where he comes
Right.
from. This
Let
is
me
his-
ask you. Let me
this is
ask
his
you
past.
before we continue, Mike and the any of our viewers. Did you guys actually, by the end of the movie, care about these side characters
Yes.
that were kind of presented to us within the Joss Whedon edition?
In the first movie, you could have killed off Cyborg and Flash, and I probably would not have given a shit. I would be like, all right,
Absolutely.
good. I don't care. I didn't like them. This, I'm like, holy shit! If you killed the Cyborg, like, damn, like you gave me emotion. Like I really cared about his struggle, his battle with his dad not being there for him
Yep.
losing his mom, the reason on how he became Cyborg.
Yep.
Now I'm all right. I'm invested in him. Then
You know what's crazy about that? Not to cut you off. The crazy part about that is that they didn't show us that much more than we kind of already knew or insinuated in our heads. Like they just presented it to us. You know what I mean? And it wasn't that much information. We kind of pieced it together. So that in itself, that would have made the original film a lot better because we would have actually cared about at least one of the side characters.
Yeah, and then the Flash, obviously, we know about his dad being in jail, but then the whole part of like him having his powers and him kind of scared to use them or when to use them. So I was like, all right, it made me like care about him a little more. The Iris West thing, do I feel like it was? I don't feel like it was needed per se. Kinda, I feel like that was a little extra. Like,
Yeah, it was not really time wasted. It was more trying to give us backstory on his heart because Flash, from what we've seen in the DC universe, he's based on a lot of like love and compassion.
Yeah, but that's also based off if you know who the Flash is. Let's say if you didn't watch the CW show, let's say if you're going by the who was this random girl he's saving?
Right, correct. They
So
never mentioned her. They never mentioned her by
Yeah,
name.
they never mentioned her name.
And that's the one thing I'm like, I feel like you didn't really need. Like, okay, it was a comedic scene at the end because he's with the dogs, chilling with the dogs in a little pit. But I'm just like,
well, not
bad.
to take away, it was a badass scene nonetheless.
No, it was a good scene, but it was just like
it got a little weird though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when he grabbed the glizzy.
Well, he started like caressing her face, and then he's grabbed the glizzy. You're like, oh god, Barry, what are you doing?
Well, that also shows his social awkwardness and why he doesn't necessarily have friends.
True.
But I just think that's the one scene that I was like, it kind of wasn't needed.
I feel like it could have been done better.
But
like I appreciate
what would you do with that scene if you had the chance to recreate it? What would have been your scene?
Well, I would just take out the glizzy.
So less comedy, more serious. People's lives are in danger.
I think I would have gave her. Did she even talk?
No. She just stared at him like.
Yeah, I think
she's super creepy.
And I'm like, what is going on?
Like she should at least said like, "Oh, what are you?" And then he could have been scared and ran off. Then I would have been like, "Okay."
Like I felt like
that would have been cool.
I felt like they could have had like a little talking scene. like kind of like you appreciate this, kind of like in You, like it could have been like a little library. He puts down the
Yeah.
book, she's right there, like, oh hey,
Yep.
and then she leaves, and
Not only that, not only that, I would have liked if and it's the thing is that the Speed Force is really new to us. Uh, for people who haven't seen the show, imagine him kind of bringing her to his speed. If I don't know if maybe he didn't know how to do it yet, or he wasn't willing to show that yet, but him bringing her to his speed, having a full blown conversation as a truck's flying over their head in slow motion. Like that would have been incredible. Kind of them getting to know each other on a personal level, even if it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Just seeing that interaction and setting her up for future movies. Like maybe they don't know where the character is gonna go, but that would have been a really, really intriguing idea.
That's one of the things I was just like, okay, we didn't need that. Aquaman, I like the whole thing, and it kind of again, it gave me more of a background to Batman. So
Right.
when he came to Aquaman's like little town area, and he's talking, I guess, to like you say the town mayor of a sense,
Right.
and he's just like, there's a storm going on. There's no flights. How did he get over here? And they're like, oh, he climbed the mountain, and it's like,
Impossible.
yeah. So you're
Impossible.
like, okay, this guy's a badass.
Yeah, on a horse. My
it felt
man's
like
on a
a
horse.
it felt like a little homage to Batman Begins, but he had to climb the mountain.
Yeah, and then I
For
like
Ra's
the
al
whole scene
Ghul.
of him talking indirectly. He's talking to the mayor, but we all know who he's really talking to when he's like, "I'm not leaving here until I speak to him."
Yeah.
And I like that scene. And then him obviously flexing his money. He's like, "Oh, 25,000." He's like, "I'll give him 50 to talk right now."
Nah,
So I
nah.
like,
He actually said 5,000 to talk to him. He's like, I got 25 bands right
yeah.
now. Like, what are you
And
talking
it was
about?
like, and it made again. You sometimes you need to separate Bruce Wayne and Batman and show that the actor can play a good Bruce
Not
Wayne.
only that, to bounce off of your point, when he was talking to the bar, whatever, I guess the mayor. It
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to call him that.
yeah.
So while he was talking to the mayor, he's also keeping Aquaman's secret under wraps, even if these people know, because at the end as you know, they ended up
Oh,
laughing
they
at him.
start chanting for him.
Yeah, no. When they started laughing at him, when he was like, I got 25,000, everybody just breaks out in laughter because they're like, bro, you're talking to him right now. So it's like he didn't know that he read the situation wrong, but that's a good Batman. It's the detective work and trying to remain as mysterious as possible.
That and then
Oh, he
trying to
also
think.
spoke their language too after all that.
Yeah, again, showing Bruce Wayne as a badass.
Yeah,
So I like
yo, honestly, I need more Batfleck, bro. I
And
need him.
also, surely during that scene is where you see another difference between the Whedon and the Snyder cut. Is when Aquaman puts Bruce up on a wall.
Yeah,
In the Whedon cut, he says that he talks to fish as kind of like ha
right,
ha 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 ha. In this scene, he
right.
doesn't say that at all. It's like a more serious tone to
Because
it.
he knows that something's coming, and I think he at that point he had already spoken. No, I'm wrong. He hadn't spoken to Wonder Woman yet, but he knows that something's coming. He knows the threat that they face is ginormous. Just because of things data that he's collected before. So him being like, this is I need this right now, kind of like desperate. That again just makes to a more humane Batman.
oh,
Then
yeah.
after that, what else was it the Wonder Woman scene? No, it
I believe they
wasn't.
show you
Well,
Yeah.
before that, we actually missed the score, the music score that
Oh,
the
that
Sweden
weird
cut
thing.
had for Aquaman. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was waiting for it because that music actually got me pumped up, like that rock, like that shit was like over the top as he's getting crashed in by these waves and he's
Yeah,
not budging. He's not budging. Like that was badass.
it was a
But
little weird
seeing
in this
it,
one.
yeah,
Wait,
seeing it a little more subtly, and having everybody in a group like standing there watching him again, knowing his secret, like it definitely was on par with the rest of the movie.
William Dafoe wasn't in the first cut, right?
No, that was all
No.
reshoots
How do you not include? That is a great actor. How do you not include him?
because they didn't have the Aquaman movie yet.
No,
Okay.
the William Dafoe scenes were shot before Aquaman. Like this,
All
all
right.
this footage is just
But
unused footage.
for because of
So
Snyder,
and then
because Sweden wasn't really trying to set up
anyway,
post Justice League movies. He wasn't trying to set up a
he was
universe.
just trying to get a movie done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get the movie done. Let's use what we have. Let's shoot what we didn't, and let's move on. Like
So
that was
so
it.
so the William Dafoe was in the Snyder Cut previously. They just
Yeah.
didn't use it, right?
Yeah.
So okay, why wouldn't you use it? As someone who's watched not even the whole Aquaman movie, I've only seen 20, 30 minutes of it.
Wow, Mike.
I'm,
Wow,
I'm not a
Mike.
big DC.
Get
Like
him out the
I'm sorry.
podcast.
Get him
It's
out.
because Batman vs Superman to me was so bad. I was like, and then I watched Suicide Squad. I'm like, I'm not watching any more of these movies. They're so bad.
Yeah, I feel it definitely left a bad taste in a lot of people's
So,
mouths and opinions. You know.
but for someone again who didn't watch Aquaman and and nobody had watched it up to that point, it made me like, okay, his internal struggle with his mother not really caring for him because he was half Atlantean, half man. I'm like, all
Right.
right, kind of intrigued to see where this went. Like, he
For
is the
sure.
rightful owner of the throne. He doesn't want it, but he's basically the god of the sea.
Yep. And
So
not
it
only
made me,
that, and
and
not
I'm
only
like,
that,
continue.
people telling him to pick up the mantle. We had
Exactly.
Mira talking to him. We had I forgot who William Dafoe's character was named,
I don't know who he is, and is he
but
an Aquaman? Is
yeah,
he an
he's like
Aquaman?
his uncle.
No, he's
Okay.
his trainer.
He's his mentor, right, right.
Yeah.
But then he takes him on as more of like a son figure because obviously his dad is on land. So seeing people that are really close to him tell him like, bro, this is your prophecy. This is what you need to do. And him still going against it. Like that definitely again added more depth to the character, especially if we hadn't seen the Aquaman movie prior to the Sweden cut.
That then they show. All right. So then after that, then they show who I believe is the heart and soul of that movie,
Yes,
Cyborg.
sir. Yes, sir.
And they really did that man injustice. Like, obviously, Ray Fisher has every right to be upset with Josh Whedon.
My
That
For
favorite
sure.
scene of the whole, well, not the whole movie, but one of my favorite scenes is that one scene where at first you're kind of like, what are you doing there, buddy? Where he's just kind of like looking through the internet and he sees like this mother, this single mother,
Right.
and she's
yeah,
like going to work and struggling, and she gets evicted from her house,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes outside, and then the mother's like checking her bank account, there's like $11 in it, and then he kind of hacks it, and it goes up to like 100 million, and she starts like cheering and cheering,
gave
and
him
then
the
he
super
starts to, and then he starts to smile, and I'm like, oh, that's really wholesome. So then he turns around, and then there's a couple like, oh my god,
Yeah, they
and it's
judging
like
him off the
it's
bat
such
for
a,
sure.
it was such a nice scene.
Yeah,
It
and
it
it
really
showed what he
shows.
can. It showed what he can do, his capabilities, how he could use it for bad when they showed all the missiles, and then how
Right.
he helped out.
Well. Two things that I want to touch on. First and foremost, it shows his internal struggle with his appearance and his heart. So I don't think he has a heart, obviously, because it was fucking blown to bits. Rest in peace, his mom's. Um, but his heart, it shows where he's at emotionally. Like he really does care for the people of the world, and he can't really act on that because everybody views him as a monster. But it also shows how smart he is because he was able to kind of navigate the web and navigate all these very intricate systems. Like nothing. He kind of just went into the bank, grabbed a stack of money physically in his not physically, mentally grabbed a stack of money, put it in the ATM for the woman, and it was just like it shows how smart he is, how compassionate he is, but
Yeah.
also his struggle with his appearance.
I like that
I
his
also like
struggle is not trying not to use his power. His struggle is not trying not to use his power, but instead it's trying.
to
Wait,
figure.
basically, his struggle is trying to stop using his power because he can't. Like, okay, this is sounding a lot
It's
better in my head.
limitless. It's limitless.
Yeah,
I felt like his struggle was more just finding out who he was. Like he didn't want to become this abomination of what he thought was an abomination. But then, as you see later on in the movie, that what the role he takes on, he starts to appreciate what his father did for him and all the things he could possibly do, as in helping the world and saving it, which they eventually do, and just everything his father let him become while becoming the cyborg.
But imagine if it would have been roles reversed. His father was the one that passed, and his mother was the one that kind of created him. Like this would have been a completely different cyborg. You know what I mean? It was his
grief,
his hate. Not only that, but his hate towards his dad. That he's like, I don't want to use this gift. Because remember, when Wonder Woman mentioned as gifts, exactly, because he got it from somebody who he didn't consider, was giving him a gift. He thought it was more selfish than selfless. But in all reality, as we learned towards the end, his father was actually trying to do this to give him a second chance, even if he, as the father, didn't feel like he deserved one. That was incredible.
I have a couple of comments. Jumbo Jin said, honestly, Zack Snyder is just making these 4-hour movies and Warner Brothers just made them shorter for money. Well,
I don't think it was
no, because they only did that because he had to go, and then they brought some other guy in, and he had a different vision for the movie.
Well, yeah, you can't blame it all on Joss Whedon, because Warner Brothers did give him a deadline to meet, like a very small deadline.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, bro. I'm gonna
put on him.
I'm definitely.
There's some shit that he shot that is terrible, but then there's also like, all right, he asked for more time to reshoot the movie, and they were like, no, we needed to come out in November.
So, but I'll tell you what.
On both sides.
I don't think that would interfere with the plot of the story. I think that just where his head was at in a directorial space, I don't think that he was at the level that Joss Whedon was, and that Zack Snyder was, and obviously
I don't think that's true, because this man,
bro, you have to think about it in terms of trying to set up a multiverse or a DCEU. Like you have to think about it in terms of that the way that Joss Whedon left the movie, it's almost like he had no intention of ever touching a DC movie again, and it definitely showed.
But you got to think also, like you have to, and this is where people don't like Marvel. You got to think you're also selling this movie to kids. A lot of the shit that we've seen in this movie is not PG-13, so
hence the rated R.
Correct. You're losing a lot of revenue from kids. You have to make merchandise for kids, so you do have to work it down a lot.
But I feel like the rated R things didn't make it a good movie. It was just kind of like icing to the cake.
But what I'm saying is, so you do have to water it down for PG-13 rating, and some violence has to be taken out.
I have to disagree, Mike, because the violence that was in the movie was literally parademons being shit on the entire movie by Batman and his guns. But think about it. Honestly, the only reason why we had that was to make this movie more badass and more over the top. If we didn't have that and we had the same movie with a PG-13 rating, I still would have enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think, like John said, I don't think that the rated R or the R rating made it a better movie. I think it just added a little, razzle dazzle in there, a little bit of cherry on top.
With the exception of the last scene.
Up to that point, DC movies hadn't had a good rap. So do you think someone is gonna want to sit and do a 4-hour DC movie up to that point?
I'm not saying that we had to sit through a 4-hour, but you can cut it into two, the same way that Endgame and Infinity War were 2 parts. Infinity War being first and then Endgame. I would have sat through 2:30, and then you would have had more time to reshoot. I would have waited 2 years for another.
And that's all Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers gave like, no, we need the full movie to come out at this point.
I don't know, bro. You're giving the director no credit here. The director definitely has a say-so in what the movie's outcome is.
No, bro, but look at all the people that have quit movies because of Warner Brothers. You've had how many Flash directors have had to quit? Like
that's because of the movie itself. The movie is too complex for them to write it. The same way that a new Batman trilogy featuring Batfleck would have been way too much strain on Affleck. He started drinking more. He started smoking. He didn't like who he was around his family. That was because
But
there was so much pressure on him to write these movies and create these movies.
Wasn't he
It,
gonna
it wasn't.
write? He was gonna write, direct, and star
Write,
in the
direct,
movie.
and act, bro. As a main character, like that's a lot. So I
all
feel
right,
like the same way with the Flash.
right.
I don't think it was a deadline. I think it's just a simple fact that
Look it up right now, John. They
What?
gave him a deadline to hit.
I'll look it up while you guys talk.
I'm not
I'm-
disagreeing that they gave him a deadline. I'm saying that as a director, you have to have more say in what the movie's outcome is.
All right, look at it as a job. If I give you a deadline, yo, I need you to meet this deadline, no questions asked. You tell it, you're a supervisor. I need you to hit this deadline. If you don't hit it, I'll get somebody else to hit the deadline.
Okay, and at the end of the day, even in a supervisor's position, you have to be quick on your feet. You have to be witty. You have to come up with a way to resolve that issue without compromising, bro.
But this is a movie. This is a movie with different characters. You have to put. I don't blame it all on.
I don't completely disagree with you, but I'm saying that there had to be more of a part that he played in the outcome of these films.
Completely to blame. I think Warner Brothers has a big part to play with it. Look at the people that quit because of creative differences because of Warner Brothers.
No, I'm sure it's not only Warner Brothers. Like this is an ongoing thing. I'm sure of that, and I agree with that part. But I'm saying as a director, as somebody who has the ultimate say so, like you don't have all the money, but you do have the biggest idea of what you want, what your vision is. What do you want there to be? It kind of just seemed like he did it just to meet the deadline. It's like no heart, no soul into it. It's like, let's put these characters on screen. We're gonna meet the deadline. Everybody's happy. The people who were the least happy is the moviegoers, the people who actually paid money to see this. So Warner Brothers is still making a check regardless, and we're shitting on Sweden when I'm sure he could have done a better job. I'm sure of it.
He probably could have if they gave him the ample time. But then you got to think also they're competing with. I
highly disagree. First of all, that Russian family thing, absolutely nothing to the movie except. Second thing, that first scene with the robber and Batman, absolutely useless.
Again, but you're giving whatever you're giving. He apparently was only given like $5 million extra to like do reshoots. Like
but he
they didn't.
He shot those.
But
those are his scenes.
There could have been more substance within the scenes. It's like I said again, it's almost like it's heartless.
Discredit this man as a complete director. Do we not like Avengers 1?
It's not as a complete director, bro. It's as a director directing a Justice League film. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you that he could have done better with more time. I agree with that. Better, not Sweden, not Snyder level. He could have done better for sure.
All right, but you see how you like Justice League because it's dark and witty. What did he direct? Avengers and Marvel films. What are Avengers films? They're witty, they have humor, and they're lighthearted.
That's not, bro. Marvel is not the same as DC, and you know this. You cannot use the characters in the same way. You can't use Flash as your Thor. You just can't do it.
That's the way he went about it.
Again, wrong. There could have been more substance. There could have been.
I'm not saying that he's right. I'm not saying. What I'm saying is he could have done better if maybe they gave him more time.
Okay. Let me ask you to kind of put this debate to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it would have made more sense or do you think that it would have been a good idea for him to come in, say, okay, we're gonna do a Justice League trilogy. Let's do the first part. Let's make it whatever they wanted their runtime, 2 hours. Give me $5 million more. We'll do reshoots and set up a universe. Or do you think that his play was the right play to make it a self-contained movie?
No, I'm telling you, they probably told him, "Yo, we just need this movie to come out at this time. Do whatever you need to do to make this movie come out."
Right. So, do you think that was on him to make it in one part?
If your boss is telling you, "Yo, we need this to come out," just
Mike, do you think it was his? Do you think it was his choice to make it all one part, or could he have coaxed them to make it more about? Listen. If you do 3 movies, you're getting way more money than you're doing 1 movie. And you're doing 1 movie to put a bad taste in everybody's mouth that they may not come out and see the next movie.
I'm about to end this whole debate.
Huh?
What's the worst Avengers movie?
Age of Ultron.
I liked Age of Ultron. I can't say the worst one.
Honestly,
Out of all the Avengers movies, which one do you think is the worst one?
I'm not gonna give my opinion on this. I like them all.
But like, all right, which one do you like the least?
the Age of Ultron is growing now. Where
The one that I
Yeah.
liked the least was part 1. It was very, very slow.
And then after that,
Obviously 2, and I really like 2.
guess who directed both of those?
all right, that's not even really ending the debate. You're comparing it to.
But
then
you're used. But no,
You were using it as your point.
Did you like it? It's not like did you like it or did you think it was a shit
I
movie?
like Justice
All right.
League, but I have something to compare it to. If I compare Endgame to Avengers 1, obviously there's a clear winner on who
Alright
was the
then.
better movie.
Nothing behind that. But now it's if Avengers was a shit movie and then Justice League was a shit movie, all right, bro, maybe you directing superhero movies isn't your path. They saw how he directed Avengers 1 and they were like, all right, maybe we want this to be the route for our Justice League. Then you compare Avengers 1 to Justice League. See how they're coming together.
You had a whole world building before Avengers Part 1. You had nothing to go with for Justice League. So he came into something that was already completed. It was already finished. Everything was laid out on the table for him. Everything that he needed to go into that movie was laid out. With this one, he needed to come in with a new strategy and include these new characters in a different way. He just couldn't do that.
it's kind of like basically what happened was. Here's a good analogy as to what happened. Zack Snyder was building a Lego piece, right? And it was halfway done. So then, he had to go, and Joss Whedon came in. He was like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm going to use clay and just slap that shit on it. Look, it's just like new.
I think y'all putting all the blame on Josh Whedon, and I don't think it's all his blame.
I mean,
I
all his
don't-
reshoots
I don't-
were useless.
I don't agree.
Has to get put on a lot of blame, not only on Josh Whedon, but a lot of game has to get put on WB.
I wouldn't agree with you saying that. Not me. Maybe we are sounding like that, but when it's not complete blame on Sweden, I think that he just, as a director, should have went about it a different way. That's all I'm saying.
To Avengers 1, how the similarities, how it's lighthearted, how it's jokey.
Is that something that we need from a Justice League film? No.
All right, no.
We don't have any characters. I'm even surprised that Aquaman was so lighthearted and funny in this one. Like, he has a very tragic past. He should have been more on board with Cyborg in the first film.
You already built up a dark universe, and then you went into a lighthearted universe. You know what Josh Whedon directed already in Avengers 1.
What dark universe did he build up? You're saying that Avengers 1 was lighthearted and witty.
I'm not saying he built dark. I'm saying DC built up a dark universe with Man of Steel, Man of Steel, BVS.
Why would you not continue the trend?
Oh, right. So then why would you hire look at the movies he produced already.
If he felt like he couldn't do it, just step out. He took the cash, bro.
Then it's over. All right, either me getting money or I don't want to do this film because I think I'll mess up the creative.
It's not like you're never gonna get another job. As you said, his resume is vast.
It's because he had a good resume. That's why they hired him. They needed someone to finish the team-up movie. Here's Joss Whedon. He's available. He did the Avengers movie. All right, this guy knows something about team-up movies. Then he made it. He showed the WB executives, and I saw an article, and they said, "Wow, this is embarrassing bad." And they were so embarrassed about how bad it was that they didn't even tell him because they were just.
So then now whose fault is that? If you know something you're gonna put out is shit.
If they needed it by the time and they couldn't afford to do more reshoots, then obviously you just go with it. In terms of money, because WB is a company, they do need the money.
John just proved my point. They knew how embarrassingly bad what it was. Why did you release it,
bro? If he would have actually did his research and watched Man of Steel and BVS, which again, let's not forget, 2 rushed movies. We should have gotten a solo Batman or solo Wonder Woman film in between. If you would have actually did your homework and saw what those characters were about, then I probably could have done a better job directing Justice League.
If Warner Brothers knew how bad it was, why did they greenlight the film?
Well, they had to release it because the contracts expired for the actors. So what else are they gonna do?
Is that true? Because 2 years later,
I think you're defending Sweden a little bit too much there, Mike.
When did Justice League come out? 2017, 2018.
Yeah,
2017.
Okay, when did Henry Cavill leave?
That was the last movie.
It
But his
was right after like
And then
February or
he
some
had a
shit.
contract with the Mission Impossible.
I'm not saying he still had a contract with DC. He left over disputes over creative differences. So it wasn't because of his contract expired.
I don't know about the intricacies of the contracts, to be completely honest.
Well, we detoured a bit from talking about a great movie to having a heated debate about two versions of the movie.
I think there's blame to be put on WB putting out a shit movie and them knowing it's a shit movie and they did a cash grab.
Is that the only blame that you're casting on anybody?
No, there's some blame on Joss Whedon for not
I
continuing.
think most of the blame is to Joss
Let me get
Whedon.
let me get a percentage, bro. What's your percentage breakdown? How much percent is WB's
It
fault?
is 70% WB for giving you a deadline.
That's not a bad percentage. That's not a bad percentage.
That is a
It's
horrible
not a
percentage.
bad percentage.
What do you think?
It's not a bad percentage.
What do you think? 100% Whedon?
No, I think it's more like the other way around.
70% Whedon?
It's still his movie. Like it's still the building blocks of, like, even if you give him more time to refine the crap that he had, it's still a badly filmed. Like, it's still a bad paced movie.
But then you should have went with a director that was similar to.
But it's already too late because they had faith
Right.
in him. Then he made
Right.
shit, and now they're stuck with the shitty movie that they just have to release
Right.
it.
You know what is shit. You know it's shit. Damn, as a studio, should we let this out and just let?
But they already spent all the money on that already. They
And
already
not
have
only
it.
that, you're gonna make profit at the box office. You're gonna make profit.
Look up if Zack Snyder was willing to go back after like time his daughter needed, because I think that was a big point. Like he just needed time after his daughter died.
Yeah, for sure.
Movie.
I don't think so. I think at that point he was just like, I'm done.
Has he
Really?
directed any movies after Justice League?
I don't think so.
Look it up, because I don't think. I think he wanted time after his daughter died, and they weren't trying to give him that.
I mean but that's a lot of behind the scenes shit. Like we are talking more to what we see.
But then that's on the studio. We don't know the studio execs, but the studio execs are the ones who hire people and who put out the green light movies.
But WB has an amazing track record for films.
The next
I don't
movie,
think that it's on WB. I'm gonna give it to you, Mike. I'll give you the 70-30 split. I'll give it to you. I'm not gonna be as hard on you as John. Like 70-30, that's cool. I can live with that.
he didn't really direct. He did like a video, like a short, but it's not really a movie. Like, this is his next movie.
But all right, but he hasn't quit of what he's done.
No.
I mean, he just did this because there was such a huge following to releasing his thing. And then DC finally said yeah, and then he was like, all right, this will be the final thing I do for DC.
This was all because of hashtags.
Yeah. But all right, I think we should go back to the movie.
Okay.
Because we're over an hour already, so let's try to get through this movie. So
hey, we said that Zack Snyder cut out the profit.
So
sorry.
We ended up in the Aquaman scene, right?
Right.
And how we all agreed how the chanting is weird.
Mike, have you seen the fight scenes in Aquaman, like him with Black Manta and him with his brother?
I watched like probably like 15-20 minutes
the starting 15, like the beginning? Or like somewhere in the middle?
I've literally seen the end.
Got you. Okay.
Oh, so
it wasn't a bad movie. To me, it was just a little over the top.
Oh, so you missed all the cool scenes that they had.
They were aesthetically pleasing, for sure.
So, all right, let's go back to the movie. Well, after Wonder Man, Aquaman. It's
Wonder Man. What are you saying?
It's Wonder Woman scene, right? Where they're like in, they're trying to rob the.
I think that might actually be before. Did we get that far into the movie before seeing Wonder Woman scene?
It's about to be in the beginning, though.
Because that would be about 40 minutes in.
Because that's when they introduced Wonder Woman. And now they show how badass she is.
That may be on par for the pacing of the movie. Maybe about 40 minutes in, we see Wonder Woman.
So, absolutely much better of a scene.
Yes.
Like first of all, the whole lasso part, that was pretty dope. That's how she gets information about shit. Then
She did
just
that
goes,
though. She did that though in
did
the
she do that?
yes, yes,
I
she
don't
did.
remember that.
Yeah, she did.
But then she just goes ham on everybody. Kind of killing people. But you know what? They're about to shoot kids. Fuck them, right?
She definitely had a bigger play in that R rating because of how strong she is. And again, trying to stay on a moral compass, trying to defend the helpless and the people that she kind of sides with. And bro, just obliterating the guy who was actually gonna set off the bomb. Just put both of her gauntlets together and just destroyed that side of the building, killing him in
Mm-hmm.
the process. That was insane. Instead of capturing him and letting him go to the cops, that was a dope ass scene.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then they also changed the way that she got rid of the bomb. I think in the reading
Right.
part, she just threw it up. And this
Yeah,
one, she actually
that
like
was
jumped
dope.
up, then threw it, and then it blows up
And
kind of on her.
yeah, and did all that in a matter of like 10 seconds.
Actually, this part, because I'm skimming through the. Hello, Mike. Did we lose Mike?
I'm good. I'm just fixing something real quick. Give me 1 second. You can
Gotcha.
continue talking.
All right.
Mhm.
So
No,
I have the movie. I'm
continue
skimming
talking.
through the. I'm
Continue
skimming.
talking.
Okay. I'm skimming through the movie right now, and yeah, the Wonder Woman scenes in the first 20 minutes.
Okay, so we got her first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let me mute that. Why is this not muted?
I can't hear it though.
Yeah, but I'm trying to make sure the stream doesn't hear it because I don't want to get copyright strike and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh, and our names are weird now.
Should be back to normal now.
She dead told Darkseid to pick up his man, said IVTW. Jumbo Jin said Aquaman was good. I wish he had the armor when he was killed. Yeah, but maybe he wouldn't have
guys
had.
hear me, right? I was just fixing.
What?
What's that?
You guys hear me, correct? I was just fixing
Yeah,
something real
we
quick.
hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
To answer the Jumbo Jin's comment, it wouldn't have made sense because the whole reason he got that armor was because they defeated Steppenwolf, and then that led him to go to the Atlantis and do all the movie stuff.
Right.
And then after that, it goes into the Themyscira scene with the mother box.
That
And
was a scene that we originally got in the Whedon cut,
Mhm.
but it was definitely prolonged. I wouldn't necessarily say for the better. I kind of could have done without it, but let me hear what you
I
guys.
think in this one it's different because in the Whedon cut, the parademons attack first, but in this one, the Amazonians attack first.
Right. I think just the whole process with Steppenwolf traveling through the boom tubes, like and like you said, him coming almost alone in a sense, kind of
Mhm.
showed
Cocky.
how much yeah, like how much he thought of himself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That he was just gonna come, I'm gonna defeat y'all, I'm gonna take this, y'all not gonna do shit.
I like how the temple fell off,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see like Wonder Woman's mom, like, damn, all them girls died, and she's kind of sad
And
for
he
a
just
sec,
comes out the water.
and he's like, "Oh, fuck
Just
them
goes,
kids,"
yeah, fuck them kids for real.
and he just goes ham. It was a
Yeah,
good scene.
that was a good scene. Like I said, I wish that maybe it wasn't as prolonged in the beginning. Like they were waiting for the crack or for the sleep the box to go to sleep and for the crack to like disappear for
Mhm.
a long time. Like it was a lot of screen time for that, and it was just kind of dialogue. I wish that he kind of as soon as the crack would have came, boom! I caught y'all by surprise. Y'all don't even know what's going on.
And then it goes from there to the scene where they shoot the arrow to the little temple. And in the Whedon cut, you kind of just see, oh, it's a temple on fire. We have no context of why does that matter. And this
The
one, they
only
explain.
context we got, right? The only context that we got was after the fact in the news clip, where Wonder Woman was watching it, as she was in this one. But we kind of fast forwarded to that, yeah, for sure.
And then she actually goes to the temple and you get to see like all the pictures and stuff.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
and she
Also,
takes the arrow, goes into a little underground secret cave
yeah,
passageway.
and they kind of like
that
a
was
little
deep.
teaser as to what's to come.
Yep.
And this is actually when you do get the Aquaman sipping on his beer or alcohol.
Elite, elite, elite boy right there.
And then he actually goes to Atlantis and he talks to what's his name?
William Dafoe.
Yeah, William Dafoe.
I don't know the
Yep.
actual name. I just know the actor name.
And then in this scene also Steppenwolf talks to Desaad.
Yep.
And
For
this
the
is
first time.
and I don't even think you see Desaad in the Whedon cut
No,
at all.
no,
You don't-
not at all.
You
Not
don't
at
know
all.
nothing. You learn nothing about Darkseid other than the nightmare scene.
And the anti-life equation.
You don't
And what's crazy is that we got that with no context. We were trying to piece it together. We were like, what does this mean? Is this real?
and I think
again, that goes back to the Avengers, like how Avengers didn't show you anything about Thanos really. I think he was trying to
Somewhat in the solo films, I think it was more of a big part, right? In the solo
wait, he was
films,
in
like,
it. He was in the ending.
Yeah,
he was in
and
the
credit
end.
scenes.
I think that's why he was trying to do the same thing, kind of not really show you Darkseid, but
But that's also weird because the movie felt like he
It's
didn't
such a
have a
dark side
place to
thing.
go. Yeah,
that. But yeah, that I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that's the one thing I didn't like. Like
yeah, I didn't
Darkseid
like that either.
Darkseid was kind of needed for this movie.
It was the whole premise of why Steppenwolf was doing what he had to do,
Yeah,
and we didn't even hear about it. 100%.
They barely said his name, maybe like once. But then after that scene, you see Diana talking to Bruce, and they talk about the Age of Heroes.
Yeah,
And man, the way they expanded this scene,
yeah.
it was perfect because I believe in the old one,
Mhm.
I'm not. Was it Steppenwolf instead of Darkseid?
Yes, it was Steppenwolf against the old guys, Amazonians, Atlanteans, and men,
and they did
which
show
was
Atlantis,
the old gods.
Yeah. So
and
in
they
this
did show
one,
Atlantis.
they were
Yeah,
like,
they
fuck,
did. Yeah,
they're like, fuck Steppenwolf. Let's put fucking Ulysses, because that's his name before he's a new god.
gotcha.
And he gets his ass whooped. But
Yes, absolutely obliterated.
But he does something. He takes out a lantern that's like a monkey, and then he almost grabs the ring, but the ring is like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Zeus is
He
being
didn't
a
deserve it.
badass.
He didn't
The Zeus
deserve
is
it.
like, he's a fucking
Not
shocking
only
him.
that, Ares was about to chop his whole damn body in
Yo,
half.
and then Ares comes out of nowhere and chops his leg off. He's like bleeding, and he gets retreated. It was like, what a great scene.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. I wish and forgive me if I'm wrong. I wish that we would have seen a Shazam in there somewhere.
Did the movie come out after?
The thing is,
but there were previous Shazams, previous people who held
the thing
that title.
is, I think all the old gods have to have died so that the powers of Shazam can be, because he has the powers of all the old gods.
Right. Okay, I got
So
you.
maybe that's why.
Okay.
I don't know too. Oh, my shit just crashed.
The movie?
Yeah.
Gotcha. We'll wait for you to let it come back up.
All right. So then after that, it's the weird Flash scene, and that's in about an hour and 10 minutes in with Iris, where she can't drive. And then after that, it's the scene where Steppenwolf, he's like interrogating the Atlanteans.
That was dope. Was showing their tech.
And then after that, they go into more of the backstory of like Cyborg and what happened to him, like when Diane,
which was needed for his character.
Absolutely needed. Absolutely.
They show the badass football scene of him like just making it all the way to the end zone. And then he looks up to his mom and cheering, and like, it's a great moment. And then the camera pans to an empty seat, and he just gets sad. I was like, damn, that's rough.
As everybody's cheering around him. Definitely
a little bit of a weird thing that happens though when they're in the car, and he's like, damn, that should have been there. He's like, I was a little forced.
Yeah.
But then he gets fucked up. Like he loses his feet, his one arm. It's just like one arm and his chest.
And half of his face. You saw like his eye was done.
Oh yeah. He got really fucked up.
Nah, he did for sure.
And then basically this whole chapter is just Cyborg. Like pretty much half of this chapter is really just Cyborg.
Mhm.
Which is needed.
Yeah, and
I
then,
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I definitely enjoyed his scenes.
yeah, most of it is just Cyborg because it shows him burying the mother box. It shows him his relationship. It's literally just Cyborg.
Mhm.
But that's fine. Like
Sprinkled
Yeah,
another
in with
that's
a,
cool. That's cool.
sprinkled in with a little bit of Flash when he visits his dad.
Mhm.
They also cut
Again,
out
needed,
they
which we
they cut
kind
out
of
a
got a little part.
I don't know if they cut it out. It was like a Whedon thing, but the scene where like after that he's like, oh, is it before? It might have been before, but like before he goes to see his dad, there's like a dude in front of him, and he's like being a douchebag, so he like super fast draws a mustache on him. Yeah, I think that was a Whedon thing because it wasn't on
yeah.
here.
Right.
This chapter, which I think it's called, what's it called?
Something
Part.
dark.
Wait. Part 3.
Or no, that's part like 5.
I'm on part 3 right now. I'm trying to see what's it called. Basically, this part has the first Atlantean fight where it's Steppenwolf trying to get the cube, and
Okay,
he
so
fights Mira.
Yep. Almost
Uh,
breaks her in half. Jesus.
yeah, it's called Beloved Mother, Beloved Son. Ah, makes sense.
Yep. Yep.
And then that's pretty much it. Oh, the ending part of this part is.
can we talk? I also like how they didn't really heavily lean on Lex Luthor, which I liked.
Oh, yeah, he was
I can
barely in
do
it.
without Lex Luthor being in another movie forever.
Like, I don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor, and that's just another argument. But I don't like that acting cast choice.
Me either. Me either. And I like Eisenberg, so it kind of sucks.
I like the fact that the whole the whole Superman thing, where his ship was located,
Mm-hmm.
how in the Josh Whedon cut it was owned by Lex Luthor, by Luthor Corp. They bought it to experiment on it, rather
Right.
than it made sense that Star Labs was working on it. That made a
Yeah.
lot more sense.
And then part 4 is called Change Machine. It's basically when they go retrieve the
Mother
hostages
box.
that Steppenwolf
Yep. Yep.
has,
Okay,
and I
the
guess
first fight.
also yeah. It's pretty dope scene,
Yep.
except for
For
that one
sure.
scene where Diana just kind of standing there, and then Cyborg has to be like, Diana, get in the ship.
I
But
think she was struck. She was in awe by
Of
the fact that she saw an Atlantean, right?
yeah,
Because they had been at war for so long.
right, makes sense. And
so
then this part is also
yeah,
like after all that fighting stuff. It's when you finally first, well, not first see, but you kind of see like Darkseid like in the little metallic thing,
Yeah. I
and
think
that's
that's the
when
first time we see him.
no, it's the second time. The first time,
Besides the
I
fight
mean,
with the old guys.
technically,
Yeah.
it's the first time you see
Yes.
Darkseid because he's not
Right.
Darkseid in the first time. And that's when Steppenwolf takes off his armor. You get to see that his horn is part of his head,
Right.
which is dope.
And
Uh,
that not to cut you off, that actually kind of brings me back to Wonder Woman Part 1, where we had Ares, and like you said, his horns weren't part of his physique, it was part of his armor. So that was pretty dope, kind of thinking like, oh, this guy got a round head with a grill of horns on it, but it's
mhm.
actually part of his body. That's dope.
So this chapter ends with the Martian Manhunter scene. What did you guys think of
Mhm.
it?
that was dope.
I thought it was
I
kind of weird.
I thought it was a little bit forced, only because we hadn't heard of a Martian Manhunter being around prior, especially in canon. Um, so kind of just for him to show up and know all this history and know exactly what to say to Lois, it was definitely a little bit forced. Um, but it's something that I can overlook for the overall movie.
I don't know. I thought it was a little out of place for me personally, but still, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit, it's him."
Would you have rather them not show him in that introduce him there than rather him be introduced where he at the end?
I
Maybe,
feel like
maybe.
they could have done a.
I think I would have.
I think they could have done a better job into like introducing him.
I didn't mind it, but it really struck a chord with me because I thought that it was two grieving people who had just lost somebody that they loved. But instead it was Martian Manhunter kind of playing this role while Lois was actually grieving. You know, like obviously we did as Earth, we did lose a hero. But you know, Martian Manhunter or the lieutenant or whatever he was part of the government, he wouldn't have felt it as strongly as Martha or Lois. So it was definitely a little bit forced, like I said.
So, the next part of the movie, part 5, is All the King's Horses. And it starts off with them. Oh, actually, the last part. Is this the last part? Yeah, basically, the last part of the previous part is them thinking the mother box can change. Like, let's say if a house goes to fire, the smoke can be changed back into the house. So they
Right.
think, oh, we can resurrect Superman.
Yeah, it's a super weird like they all came to that conclusion. It's like I
I'm
don't
like, all
know,
right,
man.
like
I don't
sure.
know what was the thought process there. Like,
No,
oh yeah, so
they were like
it can
they thought.
recreate matter, but he was only dead. They weren't really recreating anything, and if they were, then they should have known that they were you know messing with something
Well,
that could have
it's
went south
called
quick.
a change machine. So basically, it would just be changing him from alive to dead. I mean, dead to alive.
Well, I don't completely agree with that. I feel like that was the oversimplification that they came to, the oversimplification that Cyborg kind of uh you know put it out there as like, oh, you know, this can change things. That was just for you know people who weren't as smart. I guess the only one was really Aquaman who wasn't in tune with tech.
So the next part it opens up with the graveyard scene. It was a nice little cute scene with Cyborg and the Flash.
Yep.
He's like, "Hey, you know I can do this like in point 0.8 seconds." He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I know."
Out of
And then
respect for Superman, they don't.
they also added Wonder Woman and Aquaman in the background, and they talk about each other's like mythologies. Like, hey, you know, it's been a while since the Atlanteans and the Amazonians have worked together. He's like, I don't give a crap. I'm
Right.
half Amazonian. They don't like me.
Yep.
I don't like them.
Yep. Bad mother jammer, bro.
Such a badass. So they get the body. You see Henry Cho for the first time, I think.
Ryan.
Ryan
Ryan
Cho.
Cho.
I don't know why I keep saying
Mhm.
Henry. Who the heck is Henry? They
Henry
break
Cavill.
into Star Labs. They cause a ruse with a
Hmm.
fire alarm, and Dad tries to stop it, and he sees his son. He's like, "Oh no, never mind. It's
And
fucking terrible."
they go with that little. Hmm. You know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So then it's the scene where they try to resurrect Superman, and they gotta like time it. And before that happens,
Can I say
before
something?
what's
Also,
up?
foreshadow to what has to happen later on in the movie.
Right.
Right. Even before that, the Kryptonian ship tries to warn them like this is irreversible. Y'all shouldn't be doing this shit.
So so Cyborg's like tinkering around with the Kryptonian technology, and he gets a sort of vision of a future,
Hmm.
and it shows Aquaman, and he actually has like an Atlantean armor on him, and he has a spear right on his chest, and then
Right.
you just see Darkseid with his Omega beams already,
Yeah.
and then he shoots it, and it goes like this, and it hits somebody. I'm like, oh my
That
god,
was
what a
insane.
badass scene!
And then
And
right after that is right after that when we see Diana on the stake.
oh,
Like
it's right before that. My fault. You see Diana
okay,
burning
okay,
on a
got you.
stake.
With coins on our eyes. It
Yeah.
was definitely a little bit weird. I didn't understand like what they were going for there, but cool scene.
I guess might have been like a Viking thing. They put coins on there.
Okay, okay. I was thinking more like damn, it was one of the like Insidious or Conjuring villains where the guy had coins on his eyes and every time he had a victim, he would put the coins on their dead body. I think it was the Conjuring.
I don't know. But basically, Flash starts to run. He doesn't make it in time. Oh, before I go to that, they show one more thing, and it's probably one of the most interesting things in this scene. So they show Superman on his knees with a burnt body on his arms.
Corpse destroyed.
And it's obviously Lois Lane, but then Darkseid just walks up to him with his freaking Omega beams, and he puts his arm on his shoulder. And then right after that scene, you just see Superman just floating with his laser eyes. And then it says like Justice League, probably doing an homage to like where like because they're gonna make the Wayne, because they're gonna make the Wayne Manor into the Hall of Justice. Right. So in the foreground, you see a dead Lantern.
Yep, not a human.
Like, not a human. It looks like it's like the pig-looking guy. I don't know what his name is. But
they all have weird names. I don't remember. Kilowatt?
It might have been. And he's also Superman's holding Batman's like cowl. He just drops that shit.
Yeah.
Overall, really cool scene.
For sure. For sure.
And then comes the scene with Flash, where he doesn't make it to the cube on time, and he breaks his rule for the first time. Yep. And he reverses time slightly.
That we see. The first time that we see, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course. He reversed time slightly, and he makes it on time. And because of that, Superman comes back to life. And we get the...
Well, everybody, basically.
Huh?
Didn't everybody come back to life?
No, that was not yet.
What are you talking about?
It was the first time where they were resurrected.
We're going through the movie.
Wait, what?
Let me get you guys' thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. Do you think that if we're talking, I don't know if you guys believe in like fate and destiny. Do you think that maybe him not reaching the mother box in time was a sign that they shouldn't have done this? Like, because Barry Allen plays with free will and destiny at all times, just because of his power set. So the way I took it was, the universe was trying to warn them that they missed their window. That's it.
Or maybe it's just showing a characteristic of his that he's always late. That is a character
side of that coin, for sure.
That is a characteristic of his, how he's had super speed.
Absolutely. They were trying to do.
So Superman's back. He's confused. And then he sees the lineup of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg. He starts to scan them. Cyborg system notices that. And he's like, oh no, I can't control it. Starts about to shoot him. Superman's like, oh hell no. They start fighting. Scene is way better than Whedon's part. Gotta say.
The Flash Superman versus was definitely longer in this cut.
I think so. One scene I really liked was when Superman sees Batman and he's on his way to him, and then they all line up to stop him, and he just fucks them up one by one.
Yep.
And then he uses heat vision on Batman, and then he uses one of his gauntlets to block it, which they mentioned before how it can absorb energy.
Right. And they didn't even know if it was gonna work. Alfred did not know if it was gonna work or not.
No, because it was made for the guns that Parademons had. Right. So apparently heat vision's more powerful. It breaks the first gauntlet, so it uses the second one, and when it's about to break, Lois comes in to save the day.
As usual.
And then Superman takes her, and they fly away. While all that's happening, Cyborg's dad takes the cube, goes to the lab, and he sacrifices himself. At first, we think he tried to destroy it, but we come to find out he just marked it. Yep. And that's how they find it. Where in the old version, they was like, oh, we could just find it because reasons.
Because we have to do this movie.
And then part 6, something darker. It opens up with they're just all in the Batcave. They're talking, trying to track the cube. Then it goes to the farm scene, where it's not CGI face Henry Cavill.
Yeah, finally gains his humanity back, his memories.
Mm-hmm. You know, he hugs his mom, hugs his wife.
Yep.
Yeah, because he has a ring.
Hmm.
And this is where it's kind of like the climax of the movie. They're about to go to fight the bad guy. Then we get a scene of Superman walking through his old ship. He sees all the costumes. He passes by the blue one. He gets the black one. And then they do that little scene from Man of Steel, which I love so much, when it's the first time
Yeah.
he flies. And he kind of
Yep.
punches the floor, and it's like a little thing of rocks. And he just go up to space. And then he just lets all that radiation just soak in so he can power up.
Hmm. Yep.
What else happens? And then it cuts back to the team. You talk about the plan, how to get in, how Batman's gonna like destroy something, like a
Hmm.
pillar. And then uh Steppenwolf's like, oh shit, go get him. It's a really cool scene. They pretty much left all these scenes are like from Snyder. Like that.
Except for the horrendous red skies.
Yeah, that was,
Yes.
That
There's
was too
no
oversaturated.
red skies. It's just dark. It's just dark skies, but it's not like it's a really dark scene. It's like there's a lot of flashing lights going around, bullets,
Yeah.
and
It
then
was it was definitely a very well done scene for sure.
Batman gets a really cool Batmobile scene where he starts shooting parademons going through the city, and then the parademons start to like break through the guns, and then one of them saves the day. Now, one thing I did notice was that when what's his name? When Aquaman was on the Batmobile and the Whedon part, it was like, yeah! They didn't have that
Yeah.
on this one, or at least it was like more toned down.
Right. And not only that, did you recognize that in the Whedon version, Batman had, because he considered them bugs, so he had like a really big bug zapper on top of the Batmobile, and he was attracting them by that. By it was like a sound
Oh yeah,
or the light that he was attracting them with. And in
yeah,
this one, it's obviously just the threat of him being there and Steppenwolf sending them that they're attacking him.
yeah. It was like a more badass way of.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But overall, it's pretty much just a big action set piece of the movie. You know, they fight Steppenwolf, uh, and then Superman shows up. He fucks up Steppenwolf.
Yes,
He cuts
sir.
off one of his
Great
horns,
part.
and the heroes don't win.
They don't win. They don't win, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
here's what's happening. Cyborg, he's doing his little cyborg stuff with the box. Barry's doing his little running around in a circle, and he has to get there in time. And at one
He has to he
parademon,
has to gain he has to gain as much speed as possible. So he's running a fucking track around the whole dome.
yeah, I think
And
they
then
said that he has to get as close as possible to the speed of light
mhm,
without reaching the speed of light, because I think in this universe, if he reaches that, then he time travels.
right.
But then one parademon gets one lucky shot, and it hits him in the rib, and he's like, "Ah, shit!" He basically turns into Peter. He's like, "I just need a minute."
Right.
Then the cube it aligns, it blows up, everybody
Mhm.
gets disintegrated. Barry's like, "Shit, heal, heal." And then this is the part where they kind of hinted at before with the cube, where he has to time travel, and it was such a
Yep.
really cool scene the way they did
It
it.
was amazing. It was
I was
amazing.
I was looking everywhere for maybe like some sort of Easter egg or something, kind of like how they did in the TV show, but nothing really happened. But they did have a cool little scene where it shows everybody just coming back to life. Like it shows all their particles
Right.
coming back. Really gory scene if you look close at it.
For sure.
But then they go back to just messing up Steppenwolf with Aquaman just stabbing him in the chest.
Yeah.
Uh and then he like launches them to the portal, and then Wonder Woman's like, nah, that's not enough. And then
Yep.
she just goes in for the money shot and just slices his head off
Yep.
so that it lands right on Darkseid's foot. And then Darkseid's like, he just smashes it. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yep.
Ready the Armada. He about to show him who the boss
the
is.
Todd was already like, yeah, I told you this man was gonna fail.
But I like the way that they showed like the Justice League just showing their like you know what's coming for you, like you know what we're building, like
Right,
just know we're coming for you.
for sure.
But I didn't know the other lady's name until today.
Granny
My friend
Goodness.
Granny
Yeah.
Goodness, yeah, Jalen told me about her. Like he's like, yo, he's way excited for her because she one-on-one hand to hand combat, she could mess up a lot of them.
Yeah, she's really strong.
Discussion we had, like me and Jalen had, we were like, let's say Darkseid would have just stepped through the tube along with the side and Granny Goodness, they probably would have he easily would have killed the Justice League.
I the only reason why I think he didn't was because he doesn't know where the anti-life equation is. So he comes to Earth, he messes him up. He still has to take time searching for it. I feel like his master plan is to just kind of land on it. Let's reveal it. Let's solve it, and that's the end of life as we know it.
Yeah, but
But I agree. I agree. Like that would have. I mean, how much longer would the movie have been? You know? Yeah, it would have been. It would have been an amazing scene to witness, though.
So after that, it's just the epilogue, where they set up, or was supposed to set up all the movies. It shows Aquaman talking to Willa, what's his name, Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, yeah.
Willem Dafoe and Mira. It also shows Ryan Cho.
Which before you continue, that sets up the Aquaman solo film.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's coming back to land.
Mm-hmm. Then it shows Ryan Cho. It shows Bruce Wayne walking to the Wayne Manor saying...
Ryan Cho is the Atom who eventually becomes the Atom.
Eventually, yep. Excited for that.
So Bruce Wayne walks into the old Wayne Manor that was burnt down. We don't know why, because they never made a movie about it. And he was like, we're going to have a table, 6 seats. And that woman was like, with room for more.
Yep.
Really dope. And then it shows the Kent farm and shows Lois with a baby basket, hinting at Jonathan Kent.
And Bruce says to Clark, he says, "Congrats, by the way." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then they show the scene, the iconic scene of Superman, where he takes off the glasses, he walks towards the camera, and he does the ripping of the shirt.
Yeah. I'm all here for the black suit. I'm gonna be completely honest.
I love the black suit.
It's amazing. It's a really good
And then they show Lex Luthor escaping from Arkham Asylum, which, name a more iconic duo. Arkham Asylum and escaping, honestly.
I mean, it's almost like they go in there to escape.
That ass. And it cuts away to Deathstroke meeting with Lex Luthor, and he's like, "Hey, I am Lex Luthor. I got some news for you. You want some cocktail?" He was like, "No." It's like, well, Batman's Bruce Wayne. He was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I want some cocktail now."
Right.
Setting up the now canceled Deathstroke versus Batman movie,
unfortunately,
which would have been so great. And then we get more nightmare scenes.
Yes, sir.
And you see a very peculiar team of people teaming up.
Yeah,
it's Cyborg, Flash, Mera, Batman, Deathstroke, and Joker. And this was one of the scenes where Zack Snyder recorded, like one of the 5 minutes that he recorded. I think this whole scene is 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole scene is actually 5 minutes. So this is actually the new footage that he did with Jared Leto. And they just taunt each other, talking like, "Oh, I killed little boy Wonder," and he's like, "Well, I killed Harley Quinn." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
The line that he actually was really good. He was like, "You don't send a boy Wonder to do a man's job." That line, good.
That was definitely good.
Fun
let's
fact.
Let's not rush this. Let's not rush this below part. Let's not rush this.
Okay.
Part. So that interaction between, because obviously Joker, pre that scene, no one gave a shit about Jared Leto as the Joker. Like,
for sure,
terrible. And I think Jared Leto has appeared as the Joker. How many movies has Jared Leto appeared as the Joker? Is that the most? Is that the most for a single
3?
actor?
But like altogether, like 10 minutes of screen time.
is he the actor with the most appearances as Joker with probably less than, let's say, an hour and 30 minutes
No, it's
worth
two.
of
It's two.
it's Suicide Squad.
Absolutely.
And us.
No, he appeared in something else. He didn't appear in the first Justice League.
It was in a
Mm.
flashback in. It was in a flashback in
in the
Suicide.
movie?
No, the Harley Quinn movie. Yeah,
I don't think he was in the Harley Quinn movie.
Something else.
I think it was a Harley Quinn movie.
I think she killed him, and that's it.
But still,
No.
I think he's probably.
Well,
So anyway, I think he's
anyway, your point is definitely
like he's appeared in
solid.
the most Joker, but yet has literally probably less than an hour worth of screen time, which is
Also,
stupid.
not to gloss over the freaking badass armor that Flash has. That looks like
Yo,
it's straight from
man.
Injustice.
And then we
That's-
get old man. We get old man Deathstroke, which he looked badass as well.
He did look badass.
That little
And to go off the point of Flash's armor, that's actually the same armor that we see in the flashback scene in BVS.
Yeah.
When Bruce is like he thinks he's having hallucinations in the Batcave, and Flash comes to him saying that Lois is the key, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm too early. Shit, I'm too early." That's the same armor, so that was definitely a nice tie on that little gift for us.
I like the little interaction that leads. So it comes from Mara when she says, "Have you ever loved anybody?" And
Yeah.
Joker starts to laugh,
Yeah.
and you already know the road that is gonna go down.
Yeah.
So we finally get some insight onto the whole Robin suit scene.
Yep.
He also mentions timelines, which was very interesting.
That
He was like, "How many timelines are you gonna let everybody die except for yourself, Batsy?"
so
Because you have no cojones.
So that whole scene of Joker just intimidating him and taunting him with the whole he loved the mother, he loved the father, and he loved someone like an adopted son.
It also foreshadows Batman dying.
And then that's what starts to set Batman over the edge. Then the whole little card trick that Joker does, saying, "As long as you have this card, it's a truce."
Yep, and then I think Flash is like, "We better hurry up before he finds us."
He finds us.
And
I thought it was Darkseid. I
thought so too. And then Superman just slams down.
Yeah.
They all died.
Yeah, did y'all like the whole Ben Affleck cursing at him when he's like,
I definitely did.
"Fucking kill you." I was like, "Oh, okay."
You know why
I think
I
this is
like
like
that?
a broken Batman. Like he's tired of it.
I like that. Yes.
I love that scene so much.
I liked it a lot because it reminded me of the Thomas Wayne Flashpoint Batman, where he actually uses guns and he's like super distraught. He's like destroyed over the fact that he's lost all these loved ones, and he's just like you said, like broken. He's past his breaking point.
Well, he says
He's just like, I don't care at all.
He's like, "How many dead people are you gonna look in the eyes?" He's like, "I've been dead for a while." So he says that he's broken. I love that.
For sure.
I love that interaction between
that
him.
That was really, really good for Batman as a character.
That's fine. You don't send a boy one there to do a man's job. That
for
line
sure.
Amazing.
It was.
And then as soon as Superman drops down, Batman wakes up. And he's greeted by the Martian Manhunter once again.
Yep. Well, not once again, because they hadn't seen him yet.
Well, yeah.
Nobody has seen him yet.
We see him once again.
Yeah, we see him once again, right? As an audience.
But fun fact, and because Zack Snyder kind of changes this a bit, originally it was supposed to be 2 Green Lanterns.
Yep.
That visits him. So what do you think is better? You think it's better that it was Martian Manhunter, or you think it would have been better if it was 2 Green Lanterns? Because it wasn't gonna be like any of the human ones. It was gonna be like 2 lanterns from like
2 alien ones.
Right.
Yeah. And
I think it was better that we saw Martian Manhunter because he was, I guess, teased earlier on. Like, as an audience, we saw who he was. We saw who he played in other films, like BVS.
But like, all right, so let's say
I feel like that was a nice way to end it.
So it was like an even like competition. Like you take out that first Martian Manhunter scene. It's just you never seen either of them. What do you think is a better scene? Just Martian Manhunter?
I'll let Mike answer.
Or two
If they
lanterns.
don't include the Martian Manhunter scene, if they don't
Yeah.
include that,
Yeah.
then the movie makes more sense for you to show me a lantern because you already gave me content
Right.
by Darkseid in the past, and it would have worked in both films because you see a lantern in both versions of the film.
Correct.
So a lantern without that Martian Manhunter scene makes sense for a
And
lantern.
also, I think it makes more sense with the lanterns because they could have played it off as they just got there.
Right.
At
Because
least
they're Galaxy Warriors.
yeah. Like they probably heard like Darkseid is like trying to conquer this, like, oh shit,
Right.
let's make our way over there. And at the end of the
And
scene,
they're nowhere to
they,
be seen. They're nowhere to be seen.
And with that, they could have teased. There's someone we're looking at. They could have teased a Hal Jordan or a John Stewart that we might have a defender on, or if we have candidates for a group.
Right. That would have been dope. That would have been sick.
That.
That would have been sick.
I feel like the John Jones was kind of like, why didn't you just help before?
It was cool, but it's also not his planet.
But that's also if you know Justice League, obviously it's not that big a deal to you. All right, you know who the Martian Manhunter is. If you're like, who the fuck is this green alien appearing? Then it's just like random.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, it's a good film.
I give it a solid 9.
I agree. I think it was a great film. I was hyped, like standing up watching it, giving standing ovation towards the end. Like I thought it was an amazing film. Like that's my honest opinion.
I'll give it an 8.5, 9, close. I would like to rewatch it again, but that's something you literally have to make time for it. They don't watch.
Yeah, that's an.
I mean,
event.
I feel like
That's
you don't really
another
have
event.
to. He cut it off in parts. We can just watch a part at a time.
Yeah, but I would like to like, all right, I'm gonna run through this again.
If I were to watch it again, I'd do it from the halfway point and just watch halfway to the end.
Interesting.
One thing that I want to hit on before we call it a show.
Mm-hmm.
John, I know you put up a poll for a question that we had asked last week.
Hey, yeah, I literally forgot.
Yeah. So last week we had asked viewers and any audience members who what was a game that you guys would want to bring back as a remaster or a complete reboot, and we actually not we, John actually got us a few answers.
So a couple of people, well, no. Someone commented NBA Street Volume 2, which I haven't played that one. Have you guys played that one?
Yeah. Good game. 3-on-3.
Someone also said The Warriors.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And another person commented Wii Sports, which I guess would be Switch Sports. Which sounds pretty funny to say, Switch Sports.
Honestly, we need it though. I don't know why we don't got it yet.
And the last comment we got is NBA Jam, which I think it was remastered.
Yes.
Yeah, it was remastered.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they got their little remaster.
I mean, the only thing I could say, if they wanted updated graphics, kind of like on the same level as what was it, NBA Playground, Mike?
Yeah.
Like something like that. I mean, yeah, sure.
And to the fans, they did remaster it during the 360 era.
Right.
So it would be a remaster.
Correct.
Do you guys have like any questions you want answered for like the next podcast? I have like a little poll going on for the.
We can continue on the DC thread and just say like, let's say this does get good results in a perfect world. This gets good feedback. DC decides, hey, let's bring back everybody. They bring back everybody.
Right.
What spin-off movie do you want to see most out of basing off this Justice League? Like, what do you want to see after this? You want to see
a good question.
Okay. So just leave your reply on YouTube. We'll read it next week. I'll also make a poll on TikTok and Instagram. But this was literally the Snyder cut of our podcast. We're literally at an hour and 54 minutes. Literally half the Snyder cut. Half. It was a good one.
It was a good one.
But It's been episode 6, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be
Six,
back. We'll be back hopefully at regular programming next
Right.
Thursday at 7 o'clock. We've missed it twice, but we're really trying here.
We are
Scheduling is hard.
I'm on vacation next Thursday.
Oh boy, that's right. Oh crap. We might be back Wednesday.
We'll get it back to
Oh
you.
wait, we're on vacation Wednesday. Oh my god. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
It might be a really early show next week,
Subscribe to see the next episode, boys.
or they
Right.
might. Well, yeah. I'll tweet it out. If you want, you can follow me at the Papa John on Twitter. I'll tweet any updates about the podcast there. That's where you can follow me. Also, I'm the Papa Johns. I'm literally everywhere else. Where can they follow you guys?
You can catch me on Instagram at _ZA 4Ps and a Y on Instagram, and on Twitch you can follow me at ZAPP Slaps. You can catch some Apex games, some Fortnite, and hopefully soon a little Call of Duty.
Mike.
You can catch me at IG Poppy Shampoo 7.
All right, guys. Take care.